games looking right now. Teams are still hard at work. We are trying to develop systems as fast as we can. We can't really promise you a release date, but we can promise you that things are being worked on. Oh, look. Marketing man's here too. Awesome. Okay.
Market.
And the head of community relations. There you go. JF Kenobi. I don't know whether that's official yet, but it is now.
Is that
Hello.
hello?
Good time. Just close this.
We've got Authority joining us in a second.
All right.
If any of you have questions about the current state of the game, what plans are, we've got a good selection of staff here today to answer those. So feel free to address them in on topic. You can just ping me with each question, and I'll direct it to the relevant people. Some of our staff will be typing today because they don't have mics or they're unwell. Okay, question for JF Kenobi in the stage chat.
All
Is
right.
the new combat system going to be more like the current LSA or what we've got on Carbon right now?
Okay. So, what's on Korriban right now is so the first off before I was here, there was new lightsabers I believe were trialed on Korriban, but then weren't trialed on Alzok, and the new lightsabers weren't received well because hold on, I'm just checking the chat real quick. Okay, so they weren't received well because they were kind of unfinished. They were buggy. They didn't feel really complete. So the sabers won't be anything like the ones that have been seen on Korriban, because the ones on Korriban, like I just said, like they were incomplete, they were buggy, they were kind of a mess. So I kind of just going to refine it down. We're going to water the skill gap down a bit, not too much, a bit, to attract new players. We're going to give it a nice dust up. We've also been looking at some choreography from Disney material specifically to help bring a bit more of a realistic aspect to the lightsabers for Galactic Battlefront.
Okay, that's awesome. That's really great to know. Do you know what members of the community can expect with this new combat? So what will be kept the same and what's changing?
I think what will be kept the same is the MB2 aspect of it. Initially, I wanted the MB2 aspect to be scrapped just based off of my personal opinion, but that is how this game is run, and I must keep up the integrity of its core values. So we will continue to work with, at least I will continue to work with the MB2 framework, but I will be giving it a sort of a movie brush over, and that is, we'll make it a little bit more, friendly, a bit more kind of relatable, because I understand MB2 isn't the most popular platform or material for Star Wars combat. At least I would argue that's things that you see in like movies and shows and all that stuff. So that's why we'll be looking at that material to actually like take inspiration more with how we plan to have this lightsabers.
Okay, that hopefully addressed some of your questions. We also have people from the events team, from moderation, and also from the team that's listening to you guys. So they've organized this Q&A today to ensure that you're being heard and the community is being managed as effectively as it can be. So if you have any questions for those specific teams, please feel free to address those as well. We've got a couple more development questions within the stage itself if you'd like to get to those, Kenobi.
All right, how do I check this chat?
Just the message button on the stage itself.
Oh, right, okay, I see it. Sorry, I'm eating.
You're good.
Will there be game modes in Galactic Battlefront or just Classic Arena like LSA? So I'm gonna kind of put out a general notion. Nobody should expect Galactic Battlefront to be like LSA 2. If that's how you like to see it, then by all means see it like that. But at least in my eyes, I do not treat it as LSA 2. I will completely treat this with a new perspective and an open mind. And GB will not have just a classic arena like LSA with a map change. There will be game modes in GB. There will be a multitude of game modes. But to be perfectly honest, I have not yet seen what game modes there are, but I can confirm one game mode that I want to personally make. I want to make some kind of like infection kind of almost like a survival round, almost kind of if anyone has played Ewok Hunt back in the day, something like that, but with those death troopers from the comics or something someone was telling me about, and they were pretty fucking cool. So I put it down on the development Trello, and I thought, hey, you know what? I think we'll give it a raz because I think it'd be fun to have a bit of diversity because I understand this community. Not everything has to be strictly Star Wars. Not everything has to be just really strict in general. We kind of like everyone likes to have a bit of fun. Hence the events team and them hosting their events as well. And I find that if we can kind of click that on the same level as we do right now with the events, I find that through the games, the game modes, then I think that will be good to kind of have that nice little connection. Okay, is there going to be new types of planets and maps? Yes, there will be new types of planets and maps. I believe all the maps will be new, and they have been unseen apart from me, I think. But I could be totally wrong. But they look nice. They are good. They're high in quality and detail, and they do offer a nice balance. And will they be faster or slower paced to the new combat? Meaning, will the fights take longer or less time? This boils down to the same reason, like how I was saying before, how I want to look at the Disney material and like Disney movies regarding Star Wars and its saber combat. I find that with LSAs, it's when you, how do I put it? Some of the ways how some of the ways you're fighting in LSA is not inherently realistic. It's a bit too slow in my eyes. I think it would be nice to be able to have a like kind of like a linear movement when fighting someone, whether that be slow or fast. It can kind of differ between, because I also must mention that this tech will be streamlined with ICW, which is coming out, which will be coming out after GB. So we want to have that kind of brand familiarity across both GB and ICW. So to answer back at the question, I do not know if the fights will take longer or less, or be faster or slower paced. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But obviously, keep an eye on the dev leaks because I will be dropping some things soon. I finally cooked enough to the point where they're a bit more photogenic, and yeah, that'll be pretty cool. This is a question for marketing. Oh, yay. More questions. What is marketing currently doing so far for GB, or what do you do? So I recently got appointed the head of marketing just to kind of ensure that the numbers, because I also have a personal kind of financial stake in this, at least in ICW, not necessarily for GB, but for ICW. So if I can ensure that the proper numbers are there by maintaining that hands-on, then I can ensure that there's going to be a good return at the end. But for what we're currently doing so far, so I went to RCCs and I was like, hey, we need to change the organization of this up, and he has let me propose some things, and those changes will be taking place. I think today, later on in a couple of hours, I just need to talk to a few people to iron that all out first to make sure that there's no confusion or anything like that.
We're aiming for later today, at least.
Yeah, well, I'd say she said get it done, so I've got to get it done. And what we're doing for GB in particular, I'm not going to say, just because
It's a bit early.
we're kind of like floating ideas around. There's nothing really down on paper or set in stone at all. But we do have some ideas. We do have some good ideas. will there be different blaster types? Or, sorry, different types of blaster classes, or will it be one singular blaster, such as the E11? And if so, what would it look like? So there will be multiple blaster classes, and there will be multiple different types of weapons. I can't necessarily leak any visuals. I have visuals ready. I'm going to be getting the QA finally. I'm going to be getting the QA testers later. I'm going to gather them up and schedule a test. Because I had some shenanigans yesterday, which kind of didn't allow me to do so when I was meant to do it yesterday. So I moved it today instead. But they're going to test the guns. I'm going to get some feedback from them. We're going to iron them out a little bit, and once they are ready for the public, we will dev leak them. But I want to make sure they're actually they're good. I want to make sure they're going to be seen good in the eyes of you guys, because obviously in the end I just want to make something which is everyone is going to approve, or at least most people are going to approve of. When looking at new tech, because I understand with these games, tech-wise, it can get very competitive, and you need to have good-looking tech to attract the right people and keep people engaged. When will dev leaks post? Yeah, dev leaks, we kind of just post them when I know they're ready. Especially a lot of scripting work. It's it's not very photogenic. Like even my own personal portfolio is quite empty, because a lot of the things I make is kind of like back end things which don't really get seen in the light that much. But as for the guns, I will post them when they've been refined, both visually and mechanically. Will there be public test of combat? So this one, will there be any public test of combat? So for me, this one is there's a bit more to the question. So I want to provide some context. Recently, NGE went into a hibernation. It was terrible. It was bad. It went into a hibernation, and NGA has stayed alive and stayed open. I proposed to our Stacey's, hey, why don't, when the guns are made, we get them refined from the feedback from QA? We take a second look at them and we make sure it's all ready. We will trial them in both Alzok and Korriban, because I have understood personally and messaged some people. I've gone on my way to message particular individuals within this community, especially in the NGE, what they think about NGE and the hibernation and all that stuff. And people still want something to do in NGE, which I was quite surprised about, but I'm definitely open to discussion on that. So I have proposed a plan to Arsaces. He did at the time say yes. Circumstances could have changed, but we are hoping to reopen NGE, fix Alzok and Korriban, so they're both fully working again and they're stable. Throw in some performance fixes on top of that as well, and then the new blaster tech will be in that game. And I have also looked back at the old blaster tech. It is absolutely abhorrent. So I cannot wait to drop these new ones. They feel so much better already, and they're like 80-90% done. So I'm really looking forward to that. One question: does the game intend to have weapon variants? For example, bazookas, flamethrowers, mortars, among other weapons that are shown in the Star Wars series of films? I think from a base level, especially when we release, I believe there are a few variants of weapons. There are grenades. I can confirm there are grenades, explosives and different types of grenades, all that type of stuff. That's pretty cool. But as for flamethrowers, I do not think, for the sake of promotion, I will not comment on any additional weapon types. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. We'll see.
That's awesome. Okay. I have a question for Authority about the QA team.
Oh no.
So they're asking, when are the QA team's applications going to come out?
That all depends on Zori now, given that I got reassigned.
You're reassigned?
Yeah,
Where are you now?
difficult to explain to you really, but I
Okay.
will later.
it.
So essentially, whenever Zodi feels like, because currently we have over 20 or 30 people that are effectively QA members. But yeah, whenever we have the need to, we'll put it out for you guys to, apply.
Awesome. Okay. So hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah.
Uh,
If you have any questions regarding applications, we can't rightly give you like a proper answer because we never really know ourselves. It's just like we do applications when the need arises. We're not filling any quotas. We're just, doing it periodically.
okay. Looking at the question about ICW, will other factions or minor factions be able to have their own maps and be used in the campaigns for ICW? From what I've seen, minor official factions, so law accurate factions, so like Twin Moons, Sun Guard, have their own planets maps. So you can definitely expect that in the ICW game. This isn't to be confused with Galactic Battlefront. They're two separate games. Um, Kenobi, another question about lightsabers from a QA tester.
Sorry, I'm just taking a bite of my pizza.
You're
Give me a
good.
sec.
Yeah, you're right. So the question is, will there be any expansion on the types of lightsabers? Games like Saber Showdown have a larger variety of lightsabers, which is a big advantage that they have over LSA. So they have
Ooh,
lots of types from what I'm aware.
that's a brain tickling question. Hmm. Sorry, I'm just thinking. I was thinking what I can and cannot say, but we do want to, because I understand that we have, we have our we have our differences with the game that I shall not, I will not. Saber Showdown, where we have our differences with those guys. And I understand that they have some aspects of their game which some people do want applied over here. I could see from a personal point of view, I could definitely see a larger and wider variety of lightsabers being in the game because it's just more content in the end, and I do think that's a good thing to have. On paper, I cannot confirm as an official structured in stone answer whether there will be at least off the bat. Maybe later down the line, but off the bat I cannot confirm whether there will be. But there could definitely well as much there might be. It's just I cannot confirm that at this point in time. All right, I missed some questions. Will perfect blocking still be a part of the game? Yes, perfect blocking will still be in the game and will be even more perfect than before because it's now mathematically based instead of these weird head boxes that I've seen a lot of. Oh, it's weird. Will the combat be stamina based, health based, or both as it is now? Combat will still be both. There will still be both aspects of stamina and health when fighting in combat, because we also have to figure out as well. We're just going to keep that the same because of the guns as well. Because we're adding guns like fucking hell, mind has exploded. There's not just lightsabers. There's now two styles of gameplay that can be done, which I think people are going to appreciate. So we are going to keep, for the sake of familiarity, we will keep stamina and health-based combat. Is the game / combat going to be like Saber Showdown, where it's one health hit then dead, or a mix of both, such as it is now? So a conversation that I had with Zoti, who is head of the QA team, and Arcesis a few weeks ago, last month, I had said, hey, let's make the lightsabers very, very realistic by, kind of one slice and dead. And they said no, and then explained it, and I was like, all right. So we will keep, not where it's like, I find that now the way the damage is calculated is a bit strange, in my opinion. Like I couldn't be as realistic as it could. For example, I'm looking definitely more into like specific things like limb dismemberment, which could also attribute to how health is deducted from the player. But I don't actually have I think it will just be a mix where it's like, depending on where you hit, you get the most damage, like headshots and headshots and all that kind of stuff. But again, I think for now we'll just have to see. I do not have a concrete answer on that. reverse hilt when. Again, I cannot confirm or deny whether there will be a reverse hilt. Will the ICW campaign run the same?
I've answered that one.
Oh,
I think.
okay, my bad. With all these new scripts being
Added
added.
that. Yeah, I've answered that one.
Okay, hold on. I'm catching up. Hold on.
Yeah.
Point
That's
your
where
attention
we're
at
up
the
to at the
secret,
moment.
guys. We got leaked again.
Oh,
Gonna be new races for GP. Is that like what kind of
issues, I think.
species? All right, yeah. Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna look at the development fellow, and we'll see. Let's see what's cooking. I'll see what's cooking. I can't give an answer, but I will see what's cooking. Boards. Oh, did I get kicked out the fucking Trello?
What you guys should
That might be done.
think about is the fact that if we tell you everything now, there will be no surprises when the game is released. So it's important to us that we don't reveal some of the aspects of the game so that it's as enticing to you guys when we release it. Because we're aware that development has been stagnated and we've made promises that we've been unable to keep. But we're really confident about this new development team in particular and hope that it will be more successful than the previous ones.
You're damn
mean,
right.
If you want like everything out now in like one swoop with a Q&A, then you're just gonna be bloody bored within 2 weeks, which is not the thing that we tend for you to do. You know, there's the factor of surprise, guys. Also, please, if your name is DonoPell, please. Oh, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not allowed to say that. Sorry.
Don't say that. I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
Will you add
Sure.
more species? No, I mean maybe.
No, maybe.
No, maybe. Yeah, no, maybe.
I mean, I guess the question we have to ask is how many of you actually use half the species we offer?
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Like,
noticed a lot of
each
the
one of
people in
you.
the game.
Okay, seriously,
Like what?
one of you in the chat, please tell me who the fuck wants to be like a, I don't know, like a, give me a race, Dumpster, like a stupid ass one, like,
Roloka.
or like a, or like a Rodillion, like a, you want to be Greedo? Yeah, no,
Rodeo.
you don't. No, you don't.
Dono, there
Like,
are Twi'leks. Like
the only
that's
fucking
just
races
common.
that are, or a lot of the species that are used is like, I don't know, the Twi'leks,
Yeah.
maybe the Celestians, maybe something else, you know, maybe the Cheers, and that's bloody it. Or like, what are the things called from Dathomir? I forgot.
And sisters?
Yeah,
forgot the-
whatever they are.
The
Yeah,
species, bro. What's it called?
I don't know.
Species.
Dathomirians?
Dathomirians. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Something
call
like
them
that.
Dathomirians. That's a that is a politically correct answer. They're Dathomirians.
Yeah, they're Dathomirians.
Gungan,
You could go with Zabrak.
Zabrak. Yeah.
Either work.
If you say
Okay, I
Gungan,
think
you're
based
not going
on
to be allowed access
I
to
think based
Galactic
on that
Battlefields.
little development,
Yeah.
I don't think it just even matter because it's like I get you know you're playing a Star Wars game. The only way I could see this being properly utilized and especially monetized is if say like basically if we just forced everyone to different species, almost like a randomized character, which I think anyone would like. I would rather people keep their avatars as they're used to. You know, I'd rather
Whenever
just keep
you-
avatars, I think.
It might be worth making sure your mic's plugged in.
Will you
properly.
add droids? Hold on, I'll bring it right up. Okay.
Yeah, you just keep cutting out.
Will you add droids? I can confirm that there is a droid class for Galactic Battle.
Yeah, he's gone.
Hold on, I'm back. Yeah, I can confirm there's a droid class. I don't know about any other droid classes. I must have a look again on the Trello when I can find it because I think I either kicked or removed from it. But or maybe I just can't find it. Well,
I
I'll
can have a
see.
look.
I could probably get back to that. Please add training bots for the new player because they need to be taught. Please add training bot. Could do a shameless self plug here, you know, but I'm not gonna self plug on the stage of on the stage
Yeah,
of
that'd be a good idea.
the GB server. We could definitely do that. I didn't initially think of it, but I'll actually log that down in the development Trello as like some sort of like tutorial to get basic aspects of combat down, both weapons and guns, because I do agree that the skill gap, at least now for LSA for new players, you have to like you have to actually like play a lot to learn, and you grind in a couple hours to kind of grasp the basics to ensure that you're doing it right. And I find that at least for new players, you just want to get in there and you want to start playing straight away. And I don't think that's the best way to go about it. So with the watered down skill gap, for the new sabers, I think that that in itself will help new players out, so they can kind of teach themselves a lot quicker than they can now. But I will still note down the idea of training bots for GB. Will the point system be different, or will it be the same? Are these the what's it called, the credits, the Gortman credits or whatever? What's the point system, boss? I don't know.
The
I don't know
point
why.
system's like the point system that's used during raids. So like the
Oh,
capture
he
points.
clarified credits.
Oh, you clarified credits. All right, all right. Yeah.
Oh,
I believe credits will be the same but awarded differently. I imagine with game modes and doing specific things, you could be awarded differently with credits. I also think we want to make credits a little bit more useful, because I don't entirely know what credits are for right now. I think saber customization, that's it, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I think credits will be mostly the same, but definitely some additions. Is there ships for GB? Right, maybe not for GB, boss. I can't go into detail for aspects and plans on paper for ICW, but at least for GB, no, I cannot. I must deny the aspect that there will be any ships within GB. I'm sorry.
I don't know whether that Trello is still accurate, but I sent you the link.
Oh, cheers! You sent me the link. Yeah, this is the one that I was using to use the new guns off of. I've just been using this the whole time.
Fair
I need to
enough.
add, I need to add the new I need to add some of the new ideas from this Discord.
Cool. Okay. Any questions in particular for our events team or moderation teams at all?
What the fuck was that?
While you ask, I can confirm we've looked through the community relations game moderation applications, and we're happy with some of the results. So you can expect an announcement in the next like 48 hours or so. Could be sooner than later about the results of that. Can't see any questions on that. Let me check on the topic. Nothing at the moment, which is good. Oh, MZ. So they're going to be a team dedicated for bug fixing in the new combat. So we have a quality assurance team, QA, who ensure that bugs within our systems, within our combat, are addressed like as they're released. So if there are bugs, you can expect them to be patched pretty quickly by this team, because they check every now and then in their own time and in coordinated tests to ensure that they don't exist. But of course, if you find some yourself when the combat releases, feel free to create tickets and report them to developers, and they'll forward it along.
Yeah, I think that's what he meant. I think there's like going to be an active like development team, or at least part of the development team will be dedicated to bug fixing for the new combat.
I see. Okay.
But no, you are right. The QA team will be used a lot over the next month or so to kind of flatten out and ensure that the combat is nice and streamlined. Because the guns, they're all right. They're easy to pick up. They're easy to work with. But the lightsabers, obviously, that's a different story. They're going to need a lot more opinions and perspectives on them, which is great for refining it down and making it a bit easier to work with and play with.
Okay. We got a question on Osus. Wow. Okay. I've had lots of experience in NGO, not so recent, but when Osus was being developed, I was there to IC, so I've got a bit of knowledge about it. Osus is breathtaking. You should be really, really excited about Osus. There have been dev leaks about it already, so if you haven't seen anything on the new Jedi home mode, it's very impressive.
Was Osus
Yeah.
that massive fucking map that I
Massive
got
temple.
shown?
Yeah,
It's so big.
it's
It is actually
massive.
massive. Osus was due April. The only problem with that, my friend, is okay. Here's a general rule: anything Orsaces says, do not believe it. Believe the entire opposite. If he's never mind, I can't say that. If he says if he says one thing, completely believe the other. Any dates that he says, do not believe them. All right. I will make sure that man puts out dates that are verified by myself and other developers as well. Because I'm not letting the same fucking thing happen with ICW, because I head development for ICW. I am not letting the same thing happen with ICW with all these dates and everything, because it is really just bad. It is really, really bad. Putting a false date out just to kind of drum a pipe. It is really bad.
Kryn, how do you guys plan to start running GB with active members and becoming a bigger genre, because the current state of LSA is almost dead? So what we've come to the realization of is that the community we've currently got is called a recessive player base. So it's people that keep coming back because they love the community and they love the game. We're going to be trying to maintain that aspect within the plan of ICW and also through Galactic Battlefront as well, but not so much. We aim to have a new and frequent player base of incoming members through the diversity of Galactic Battlefront. So through the combat, through the game modes, and through like the different opportunities that are presented there. So you can expect constant updates, or at least reliable updates, when that game releases, because that's the game we're going to be maintaining to ensure that ICW has people to fill factional roles. Because ICW will not take off if we do not have a bigger player base to rely on. Is the Roblox body going to be blocky? That's up to you. That's in your avatar settings.
Wait a second.
Did this get answered? How adept do you think the dev team is at making things mobile friendly? Kenobi, what's your experience with mobile friendly controls?
Oh, mobile friendly controls. Mobile friendly is I think it's something. I don't think it's something that we're going to do initially, because that takes a lot of time to run through each and individual piece of interactive tech, which then needs, because it needs GUIs made as well for mobile tech. And that kind of is, it's not difficult implementing mobile tech. It's just very tedious and can be quite long. And when you've got other things that you need to prioritize, just other things that you need to prioritize, especially content-wise, then you kind of need to focus on those things first. But I would love to. Our Ceres has told me that he needs these sabers and guns mobile and console compatible. So I believe I can confirm safely that there will be mobile and console support, either on GB release or very soon after.
VR support for Galactic Battlefront. Honestly, don't get your hopes up. I haven't heard of any plans specifically to incorporate VR compatibility, but don't rule it out. If GB takes off, then I mean, might look into it. Nothing's certain yet in relation to VR, but I would just say don't get your hopes up right now. Will there be a combat demo before Galactic Battlefront where everyone tests? Similar question to before. QA will be the main testing team, but if we really need a public test, I'm sure JF Kenobi and the dev team will think about it.
No, I don't mind having a combat demo test. When kind of linking back to a question earlier, regarding the lightsabers, how with NGE being on a shutdown or hibernation, sorry, how it's on a hibernation right now. Lifting that hibernation, fixing Alzok and Korriban, and then implementing the new tech. for Alzok and Korriban individually. So NGE and NGA can get fighting again just while we continue to work on the games across Godum. I think that will kind of be classed as the combat test, and that means we can also take feedback from the community as well as the QA testing team, because obviously I don't want the confinements of the confinements of quality assurance to be held within quality assurance. Like these, I understand that they're on board to specifically do that job, but I think it's also good to get the opinion of general players who are actually playing our game and who are actually taking an investment into it. I think their opinion is also on par with those within the QA team.
Bomb 3, gain a little more speed, or at least 3 hits instead of 2. Kenobi?
That is a very specific question, my friend, and something I do not have an answer for at all. So, forms will gain a little bit of speed, or at least 3 hits instead of 2.
Yeah, that's Suba.
That's a very specific question. I cannot kind of answer that for now.
I guess you'll find out. Like when you try it yourself. I mean, maybe we'll go with that. Maybe not. Will yoring be a thing?
For what, sorry?
Yoring.
Yoring, still be a thing in game. I think the same with the Soresu question. For now, I do not believe I can give an answer on individual parts, individual specific parts of the lightsaber tech. I cannot give any specific answers because we're all going to get it rebalanced and redone and give it a nice upgrade. But I cannot give a specific answer on that now. Hold on. Will we be able to make our own forms by using hits from all forms? I will actually note that down. That sounds creative, but I could also see that being exploited for specific reasons. But I will log it down as a dev idea because I can see that kind of working, and there's no harm to adding it, and there's also no harm to keeping it out. So we'll see. Will Wong still get their walking sticks to fight with? I mean, they're pretty old. They are pretty old, so I think sure we'll give them their walking sticks.
All right, we'll
Because,
take 5 more
yeah.
questions because we don't want to reveal too much, and then we will end. So if you have any pressing questions that can't wait, feel free to address them now. If not, we'll address them in a couple of weeks, or you can always contact us through tickets. When can we expect the first dev leak on combat? Dev leaks come as and when we're ready. We can't really give you a set time, but JF Kenobi's hard at work, so I don't know, at some point. Kenobi, question about game design. Have you got good coders on the project? Is there a
We
solid
got good coders on the project. Well, I won't toot my own trumpet here, but I consider myself pretty cool. Is there a solid plan for game design? There was a pretty solid plan for game design. Obviously, I've got a lot of I've got my own money riding out on this. Like, I need to get paid, so I need to make sure that the game's good, so the money keeps coming in, so that I can get paid. So I would say yes, especially with what we have and what we have planned for the future. We just want to make sure the launch, because I understand the wait's been ages. And the only thing that I am very slightly concerned about is the wait time combined with the content, because it takes a lot of time to refine this. Because obviously, I've got a lot of going on outside of this as well. So I just want to make sure that we have a nice smooth launch with a mostly positive outtake, because I understand that not everyone's going to be happy with the state of GB, and you can't please everyone. I am going to get a lot of shit from some people, and I'm going to get a lot of good things from some others. So I do believe personally that there is a solid plan for game design. Can you add a dying people sound effect?
I think there was a comment on this a while ago from Arcesis that I remember. In certain dying conditions, I mean, Arcesis is a big fan of the Wilhelm scream, so you can probably expect it somewhere.
Oh god.
If not, Kenobi will slide it in somewhere.
Will Arcesis ever respond to TM? That's something I'm going to have to take up with Arcesis, my friend. He's a He's not the best with Discord, I've noticed. He's a busy guy.
In specific to Twin Moons, if you're having issues reaching out to Arsaces, that's probably because Arsaces isn't the person you're supposed to communicate with. If you have pressing questions, reach out to his secretary, who I will ping in on topic for you, and also Fox Morningstar, who will also be mentioned in the message. Because Fox Morningstar is the head of ICW and like faction relations, so he'll be able to answer any questions you have as well.
Are you going to make kills as satisfying as they are in GB/ICW? They are Are they satisfying in GC in LSA right now? Are kills as satisfying as they could be? I'd love to make it more satisfying, because the more satisfying a kill is, it's kind of retention. It's like a retention method. You kind of keep people playing if kills are satisfying. I think that's the reason why, personally, I believe that's why the reason Saber Showdown has such a consistent player base, is because it's very easy to do, and it is pretty satisfying getting all those kills in one go. If you buy a door blade and you don't like it, you can trade it in for more credits. No, I do not believe we are allowed to do that. That is against the terms of service, and we do not want to be banned. Add kill finishers like in Mortal Kombat. I can confirm that there are kill finishers for the new lightsabers. I've seen the animations. I just need to get them all implemented. Is it a dev leak? Oh, yep. It is in the dev leak. Oh, that's great. Yeah, okay, that's great.
So if you haven't seen them yet, give them a look, because they look really cool.
They are pretty cool. A bit faster. I need them a bit faster.
Particularly the middle one. Okay, that was like 6 or 7 questions. So that's us done for today. Thank you for listening. If you have any more questions, reach out through tickets or through DMs to community relation team. More information will be coming on that in the future. Events team have been upping the frequency of events, so hopefully you've noticed that as well, because we had some comments about not enough events being hosted. We've also tweaked the rules around impersonation in relation to factions and stuff. So if you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out in a moderation ticket, and they will happily explain it to you. Apart from that, that's pretty much everything from us. Have a great rest of your day. We're gonna go talk behind the scenes now. Feel free to hop into Call One and play a game or whatever you want to do. See you soon.
See you.